Sanctuary family, welcome. This is the first Tuesday of Love Factor month, and we are calling it Love in the Living Room. Of course, I've got my lovely wife, First Lady Lisa, in the living room, and we're so glad that you're joining with us in the living room as well. So before we start, we want to make sure that everyone is in the living room tonight. So come on in, get settled in, because we've got an exciting topic to talk about tonight, and we want to make sure that you are tuned in and listening to what God is going to put in your spirit concerning love and relationships. So for the Sanctuary family, this is nothing new to us. We've been excited about the Love Factor month every year. In the month of February, we focus on love and loving not only God, but loving ourselves, loving each other, loving our neighbors. And even sometimes we focus on loving our enemies. And so we use our midweeks as a platform to really break down what love really is all about, going into some practical concepts that's really going to help both the single individual and the married couple to really enhance in their relationship and what love really is really all about according to the Word of God. So, but Lisa, I'm glad you're in the living room tonight. So kind of talk a little bit about how do you feel about just the whole Love Factor month and just in this time, pivoting to this platform and using this opportunity to really be creative and engage and reach, more people with just what we're trying to do.
Well, I am really excited to be in the living room tonight with my hubby. Tonight we are focusing on love, but it's not just for couples, it's for relationship. And that's what I love about when we focus on the Love Factor month. We're catering to everyone that is in relationship, and it's going to help to better families, friendships, relationships, husband and wife, spouse relationships, parents and children relationships. And I think it's just going to make the overall family unit stronger. So I'm excited about that, excited about all the guests that are going to be joining us in the living room and sharing their knowledge. It's going to be a wealth of knowledge that's going to really impact those that are joining us. So I'm excited about that and looking forward to what God's going to do.
Amen. I mean, we're excited tonight. So without any further ado, I want to introduce our panelists. But before I do that, I want to make sure that everybody that's in the living room tonight share, because we know sharing is caring. Press that share button right now, because we want to let week one explode online and go viral. Share this session, this talk tonight, this discussion on your page. And you just never know. It could bless somebody. It can reach somebody that really needs to hear some practical concepts in regards to relationships and love overall. And so we've got some tremendous questions we're going to ask our panelists, but we want to make sure that the Sanctuary family and the living room, those that are in the living room tonight, please press that share button. And also just a shameless plug, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, The Sanctuary of Elmont, press that subscribe button right now. Press that bell button as well, so that you're notified every time the Sanctuary is going live. And we've got a crazy online community, and we're so glad for your support, those that are on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. But now that we've shared, and we want everyone to comment and engage in this discussion tonight, we want to hear your thoughts, your feedback. That's important to us, and we're so glad that that you're getting ready to participate in what's going to take place tonight. So without further ado, first person I would like to introduce is none other than a dear friend of ours, a longtime sister and friend in ministry, an anointed vessel, a singer, just a minister, but most of all, a Christian and a dear friend. We're so glad to have from Far Rockaway, New York, Tanya Lawrence in the living room. Big shout out, girl.
Hello, Pastor Omar and Lady Lisa Jolly.
It's such a pleasure
to be here. It is such a pleasure to be here.
We're honored to have you in the living room. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. You know, I had to call your agent and, go through all this, but favor ain't fair. So I'm glad, we got direct access, so that I could just call you and bypass all that.
Always.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let the Sanctuary family know who you are, and just share that, how long you've been married, and all that's what God is doing in your ministry in this season.
Absolutely. My name is Sister Tanya Lawrence, and I actually do live in Far Rockaway, New York. I attend my church in Brooklyn, and it's called True Holy Church.
Yes.
And the pastor is none other than Bishop Vivian Santamorgrub. I'm sure he's going to get me for saying his whole name, but and my True Holy Church family, I'm sure some of them are on right now because everybody's so excited to speak about relationships, right? And everyone wants to know the real answers to some of these real questions. So, of course, they didn't delay in getting on. I've been married. This year will make it 12 years. Ooh. My God, time flies so quickly,
when
right?
You're having fun, years. It flies.
And and it's been an awesome ride, ups and downs. But guess what? I'm still here. And we're still together. We have 3 beautiful children, and we're just trying to live this life, not just live. We're not just trying to survive. We're trying to thrive. We're thriving.
Awesome.
We're trying to thrive.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I mean, we give God praise for you. We're so glad to have you. We love you, sis. You're a longtime friend and sister, and you're going to share and bless everyone that's in the living room tonight. Secondly, we want to invite our very own, the associate pastor of the Sanctuary of Elmont, my longtime friend and brother and sister, Pastor and Sister Mario and Cheryl Minto. Come on into the living room. Cross the bridge, pay the toll. You travel far just to get in the living room, man. I love y'all.
I love this, man. And thank you for the intro. The check's in the mail. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
Good to see you guys, man. We love you. You guys are just awesome. And there's absolutely no way we can do life and ministry the way we're doing it without you guys, man. And we love y'all. And you guys are dear friends to us. And there's no way we could have kicked off the Love Factor and love in the living room without you guys. So honored to have some in-house special guests. So kind of tell the community about yourself, a little how long you guys been married. If you guys are, of course you guys are still in love and still like each other. And so just share a little bit to the community tonight.
Well, we've been married. What's up, Anna K? Sorry guys, what's going on? I see.
Big shout out.
Got a fan club. 15 years this May, and just like Tanya. By the way, hi Tanya. My bad. Forget my manners, girl.
Hey, Mentos. I love y'all.
Hey, Tanya.
Yeah, but we've been married 15 years this coming May, and we go to one of the greatest churches in New York, actually in the world, the Sanctuary, right there in Elmont.
Really?
Yeah, man. I
sound like a dope church.
But love you, Pastor and Sister Jolly. Thanks for being our great friends, great inspirations. And what's up, Junior? This is going to be a fun night. We're excited to be on tonight, man. I don't know. Cheryl's got something to say.
Yeah, she got something to say.
We're just truly, and, we're just excited to be here, to be a part of this Love Factor month. I know God is going to do tremendous things through us, and we're just looking forward to what, tonight holds. Should be exciting.
Believe that. Awesome, man. Glad to have the Mentos. Big shout out to you guys. And last but not least, from the West Coast, 3 hours behind, the real deal. Somebody who I love and respect and admire and appreciate for so many years. One of my favorite preachers, the one and the only, the real Sam I Am Emery, pastor from Merced, Cali. Bless you, Elder.
Hey, man.
Come on. We're so glad to have you. We're having you in the living room. We're honored to have you, sir.
It is my honor to be here. Good to be on with all the other panelists. Don't know you guys, but y'all are swinging. Look good to me. I guess I'm the old man here, yeah? And so
you loaded with wisdom. That's why you're on for tonight.
I might be loaded. I don't know about no wisdom, though. I've probably been married longer than all of y'all been alive.
Help us.
42 years.
Woo.
I've been with my wife for 46 years.
Wow.
So
still like each other?
I'm sorry?
You still like each other?
No, man, we passed life. We always in love.
Yes, sir.
We passed that life stage.
I love it.
We have 4 kids, 24 grandchildren.
24?
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do you appreciate? 38 great-grandchildren.
My goodness. Wow.
Goals, relationship
In
goals.
ministry 40 years.
And this is the reason why you are on tonight in the living room.
Yes.
You talk about success. Man, that
It's all
resonated.
success. Success is a dangerous deal.
Well, you might as well go ahead and talk since you're in it.
The church.
Marriage is one situation at a time. You always take the first step and then the next step. And if you keep moving forward, you get there. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no formula. You get up in the morning, you make your mind up. This is it. It's love is it's less of a feeling.
Yeah.
And more of a confidence inside of you saying, I love today.
That's good.
All right.
In other words, love is a focus situation, not a dream.
Right.
Love and marriage is a dream. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not myrrh. So you gotta hold on till you wake up. So I'm from that night. So it's focus is one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. You look around and you're there. There's ups and downs, there's hard times, bad times. But I take the Al Green road.
Yeah.
Just stay together.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Awesome.
If you hold on, marriage is something, if you just hold on, it'll come around again.
That's right. That's a good word, sir. That's a good word.
Keep holding on, it'll all come around again. So after 44 years, we've been up and down and all around. We done been from like I said, Al Green to what's her name, Tina Turner. What love got to do with it?
Right.
We've been on both stretches, and then you look at one another and say, "Hey, we didn't start this for fun and game.
Yeah,
we started this to stay with this." And you just have to have a made up mind, like living for God. Same thing, same kind of principles.
That's encouraging. I appreciate it. So tonight, for the family, just want to let you know this is week 1 of Love in the Living Room, and our topic of discussion is the rules of relationship, a simple code for relational success. And we're going to go through these questions, and they're all good, and we're going to try our best to get through them one at a time. Lisa and I will go back and forth and just ask the panelists these questions, and we just want to make sure that whoever we call on to ask the question, answer the question first, that the others in the panelists you're not excluded from it. So if you feel like you got something to say, this is sharing tonight. So we want everyone to really share their thoughts and speak what you feel in your heart. All right. So Lisa, why don't you go first? So the first question is for Tanya. I'll go. Okay.
For me already.
Yeah, first. There we go. First question that goes to Tanya. Here's the question. Okay. What can be done to reduce the number of broken friendships that you have in your life?
What can be done to reduce
the number of broken friendships that you have in your life?
I think communication is key in every relationship, friendship, intimate relationship, any relationship that you have. Communication is key. If you've gotten to the place where it's broken, you've gone too far, because you have not communicated yet, right? So somebody's needs in that relationship was not met. And if it's a true relationship, whether it be intimate, whether it be friendship, that would have already been discussed before we got to the point for it to be broken, right? Another thing is, and we just had this discussion yesterday. I believe we use friendship, that the word friend, very loosely. Where some people might be an acquaintance, we're calling them a friend, right? And when I have an acquaintance, what I need from a friend is not the same as what I need from an acquaintance, right? So my expectations won't be so high, and then I won't be so disappointed.
That's good.
Right? So let's put them in the categories that they belong in, and then maybe the numbers will come down lower because they weren't actually your friends. Place them where they need to be, right? And then we can lower that number of your disappointment. I hope I kind of answered the question.
That's good, sis. Place them where they need to be.
Place them where they need to be. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Anyone else wanna throw in some wisdom on that?
I mean, if I could also just by the phrasing of the question, it says broken relationship. So I think if it's more than one relationship that is broken, then maybe search for some underlying issues, because usually there's always this one thing or a couple of things that's going wrong why relationships are failing. So I think that's something that some kind of self-reflection that needs to take place on any individual. So I'd say that look for any underlying issues.
Within your, I like that, Mario, because it's really look for underlying issues within yourself too. Because if you're saying that if all the relationships around you are broken, the common denominator might be you, right? And that might be you. So we need to consider ourselves for sure. I love
that's
that. That's
good. Yeah. That's good right there, Bishop.
I would say, for me, our lives was full of sin. I like you, Sister Tanya.
You like me? I like you too.
I like you already. I don't know you, but I like you already. I think that after being 60 plus years old, friends are like seasons. And some people come in your life for short seasons, and some comes for long, and some are with you from here to there, But oftentimes, maybe God takes people out of your life.
Talk, sir.
Because they're not adding to you what God wants to be added in your life. So never hold on to something that's trying to let go.
Right.
It might be
that's an E flat. That's an E flat line right there.
That's a freaking note right there. and so people will come in your life to teach you something, and then once they taught you, they exit out. And then some relationships are for life.
Right.
So you have to know the difference between the seasons of friendships and what they come to do.
Wow.
And then when their work is done, God moves them on. And it's dangerous to hold on to something.
Come on.
Out.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, wow. God can see down the road when we can only see right in front of us. So if a friend walks, love them, but
let him go.
I love that.
That's good.
Yeah. Don't choke your destiny holding on to your past.
Preach, girl.
Don't choke your destiny holding on to your history, because you're gonna miss a whole lot if you hold on to what you should have been letting go of. All right, y'all told me to be real, but I'm gonna be quiet.
And we thought you can only sing. That's awesome. Good talk. Good talk. All right, Pastor Embry, this question is for you. Can you still maintain a friendship if you've been intimate in the past, but couldn't maintain a good relationship?
Male, female?
Anyone. Can you still maintain a friendship if you've been intimate in the past, but couldn't maintain a good relationship?
Ooh, that's a difficult question. That's kind of woof. I don't know what to take that. Well, I don't get intimate with men.
Male and female.
Okay, so I'm thinking that we're saying, again, we have boundaries that we allow people into our lives,
right?
And sometimes we allow people so deep into our lives that, like what they call the BFF. I don't know what that means. Best friends forever. Mm-hmm. That's a misnomer. There's no such thing. Some people are going to be around for a long time, and then there are. So I would think that would be that. And so, that's a hard question. I would say that if it's a good friend, then hold on to that relationship as long as you can. Now, if they let go and you're running after that, that may be something that, doesn't have to do anything with you, but have to do more with them. Their life may be taking a different path than what your life has taken. And we always mourn, I do, if I lose a good friend, to go a different way. I've had buddies when I was in the military that, when I started serving God, I mean, we were tight. I mean, we were tight. But when I came into the church,
yeah,
the roads, the ideologies, the mindset, everything changed. We're still friends, but we're not good. The intimacy that we had when we was in the military, ducking and dodging, doing all the things out there in the street. But then you come into church, your life changes, your attitude changes, your direction changes, and sometimes that's what changes the closeness or the close-knitness, because they're going in one direction and you're going in another.
That's good. That's good. Anyone else on the panel?
I think he said it good.
Let me just throw this in. How can you maintain a good relation or good friendship knowing that you've been intimate in the past with this person?
I think if a line has been crossed with the intimacy, you being friends and the line have been crossed, I think a discussion needs to be had, communication. And do we want to pursue a relationship, or do we just want to stay friends? And how are we going to create boundaries so this never happens again? Because it could have been just, we were alone, a bad place at the wrong time, and it happened. But now, do you want to pursue something out of it, or do you really want to say, you know what, it's better if we just stay friends, because it's not that we want to be together, things happen, and then we just draw the line and create the boundaries and just stay behind the line.
That's good. Boundaries. That's a good word. Because there could be a discrepancy of love and likes between those two individuals.
Right.
I want something from you that you're not able to facilitate, and Lisa, you can jump in and don't be shy, girl. If you got something to say, she can talk. Good talk.
I think Cheryl hit the nail on the head with that. I think boundaries is the key thing there, and both parties have to be in agreement. I think one of the things that happens in relationships, especially when it comes to male and female relationships or friendships, where lines get blurred and boundaries get crossed, is when those two individuals are not on the same page. Sometimes the expectation on one side might be different than the expectation on the other. So it's important to make sure that the expectation on both sides are the same and that you maintain those boundaries.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right. The next question goes to the Mentos. And the question is, pressure. Here it is. Where should the boundary be made between friendship and romantic love?
Where should the
boundary be made between friendship and romantic love?
Well, again, we need to have conversation about that, right? If we don't want to have a romantic relationship, then we need to talk about it. Then we don't put ourselves in the position where we end up having a romantic relationship. If we just want to stay friends, then let's talk about just being friends and what we want and what we don't want from the relationship.
But where should the boundary be made to create that distinction between friendship and romantic love? Because a lot of people, it's blurred, especially in our culture.
Where's that line? Where do we draw the line?
Where we draw the line? I can be doing some things that maybe some two people that are in love are engaged in, but we call ourselves friends. So with that, in our culture today, that's so rapid, where's the line? Where's the line drawn?
Well, you need to, the person, they need to establish what is it that they're doing, because to be a friend, to say that we are friends and have a romantic relationship, then that's a whole different thing.
Right.
Do we want to be in a relationship, or do we want to be friends? So if if the line is, let's not do things that will cause us to be romantic. And what are those things? Let's not stay up on the phone until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's not have romantic dinners. You know, we can hang out, but let's do it with friends. Let's not put ourselves in the position where, you know, the romance will come into play. So I think the conversation needs to be had, and I think the lines need to be drawn. Let's not do things that will lead to romance.
That's good. That's good. Anyone else?
Muted. While she gets unmuted, I saw her pastor. I think he chimed in. He said, "Draw the line at the cross."
At the cross. That's my pastor. That is my pastor.
Hey, we can't wait. We're going to have Bishop in the living room, a part of our as one of our panelists on week 3. So you don't want to miss that. We're going to be talking about a family affair. Shameless plug. So we're looking forward to having Pastor Sister Grubb in the living room as well. But go ahead, Tanya.
I was going to say, right? So let me just keep it real here.
Go ahead.
Who says that a line kind of needs, why does there have to be a boundary? And I'm saying that because the best relationships are birthed out of friendships, right? So unless you don't want it, I agree with Cheryl, communicate it. But there is still a way to develop that friendship to become an intimate relationship. And of course, we're speaking in the context of the church, right? So we know that the process is to be married and moving on, right? This is how we're speaking. But,
Amen.
but I'm telling you that the best relationships are birthed out of friendships.
Right.
So you shouldn't really draw a line until you've explored that is not what you want from them. But if that is something you want, sis, explore that. Because the best relationships, I promise, are birthed out of friendships. But everybody can't be in a relationship with you. So yes, you're going to have to draw boundaries, but careful with the boundaries you draw, because you might just kick them out of the place that they should be.
All right.
That's good talk. That's good talk right there. All right.
That's a nice spin on it.
Yeah.
She put a little spin on it.
Pastor Emery, this question is for you.
Yes.
What is relational success?
Ooh.
You said a little bit at the beginning, but
man, I would say one day at a time, man. It's my wife and I have to agree with Miss Tanya. I hope you don't mind if I call you Miss Tanya.
You can call me Tanya. You can call me your friend. You can call me whatever you want.
You are my friend. I like you. So I met Sister Emery in my drug-infested days when I was a drug addict. And so shamelessly, she just probably felt sorry for me. You know what I'm saying? But we became friends, and that was the deal. And we didn't get intimate right away. That just kind of came as a side effect of the friendship. Next thing I know is done. You know, and we're walking down the aisle, and let's see where we are 46 years later. And in that, the relationship has to be, tailored to where we are complementing one another on a basis that keeps us all in love, in marriage, and in friendship. So marriage is not supposed to break up the friendship. I agree with Sister Tanya there.
That's good.
And so my wife and I mean, Brother Pastor Omar, you know that if you see me, who you gonna see? You're gonna see Sister E hanging on the right. You ain't gonna see me around with a bunch of hard heads. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be me and her. No matter, unless we run into y'all and y'all out, then it's all the four of us. So that's my buddy. That's my kicking buddy. That's my roll buddy. That's my girl. That's always my girls. And
that's good.
And we're still friends. I mean, we have quarrels, we have fights, not knock down, drag outs, or shoot them up. But hey, that's what relationship is all about. And we always come back and we apologize, and then there's repentance, and then and let me say like this, we'll probably get down here later, but as the man, it is your job to make sure that that relationship or friendship or whatever is going to be what in a godly manner. You know, you know what I mean? We have to step up and make sure that that happens. And so what I do, what Sister Emery I do, is that we don't hit below the belt. We try not to. We apologize and we go on, and then we forgive and we make that next step the next day, and we're there. And so I think that communication is the key. Openness is the key. Being honest is the key. I mean, all these things are dangerous but it's that danger that makes the mission impossible possible.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's just a comment. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Sister Lisa.
No, if I could piggyback off of Pastor Emery a little bit, he said it from the beginning, and it kind of brought me back to my relationship with my husband. When you talk about success, we would love to say we're at 43 years, but we're just approaching our 18th year. And I know so many people that got married the same year that we got married who are divorced. And I think about some of them and the circumstances surrounding their breakups. And it's not anything that we could say we avoided. We had financial struggles that could have interfered and broken up our marriage. We had children who, are a blessing, but in a lot of relationships, it also causes division amongst couples. So I think if I'm going to keep with what Pastor Emery said and say that success is not an end game. It's not 18 years, 43 years. It's year after year. It's making it from point A to point B. It's overcoming every hurdle, every obstacle that's thrown at you. It's making those bends. I remember hearing Bishop T.D. Jakes preach a message and talk about, taking the bends together. If you're riding on a motorcycle and you're taking a corner, you want to lean together.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going around, but you don't want to be going in two different directions. And so I think that's what success is, being able to overcome hurdle after hurdle, overcome triumph after, obstacle after obstacle. That's success.
Pastor Omar, one thing,
Yes.
the time that we've been married has been challenged, very, very definitely. With every challenge, you have to overcome, and you just have to kind of stick with it. I mean, in 1982, we lost a son. Death is a challenge. We blame one another. Sometimes we cried together. Sometimes we hollered at each other. I mean, and it was just, I couldn't make it through this. And you don't know, but you just put that one foot, and before you know it, 6 months, a year, another year. I like what Sister Jolly said. It's not that we're trying to be married for 40 something years. It's just we're looking retrospectively behind us.
Yeah.
And say, but for the grace of God, number one, there go I. But the other deal is the tenacity to say, okay, let's just see if we can make it through this. Or and then if we made it through that, or he walked with us through this, or he carried us through this, because some of those days were dark. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a miracle that we stayed alive. It's a miracle that we stayed married. It's a miracle that we stayed safe. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's not anything I can say I do. We just kept holding on to them unchanging hands with the nail scars, and just we cried a lot, we prayed a lot, and it's just, and we have one statement that we keep with, and that is divorce is not an option.
Amen.
It's not even on the table as an option. So that forces us, when you take that off the table, that's the easy way out. It forces us to get real with one another, get real with ourselves, go in our corner, let the coach talk to you,
Yeah.
You know, oftentimes when I go in to talk to God about my life, he said, okay, so let's talk about you. I go, no, I'm here to talk about you. I call her his daughter. I'm here to talk about your daughter.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about you. I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk. Because like, no, the whole conversation with him is about me. This is what I want you to do.
Neither woe is me moment.
So, my deal is, I'm the man. I got to fix it, whatever that means. Now, if I got to do, like, crawl, whatever I got to do, because I got to make that happen. And that's, we have more men that will just stand up and say, "Hey, no, that's not an option with us.
Help
We
us,
got
sir.
too much. We got too much. We done been over the hills, the mountains, all the stuff. No, you take some things off the table. It forces you
Amen.
to grapple with yourself. It forces you to look internally and not always point that finger that way, because you got more pointing back and say, okay, if there's a problem has like several sides. It's octagonal. That I got to be in there somewhere. So that's something I need to do. I got, if I can get myself out of the equation, that formula got an easier way to be solved.
That's good. That's good. Wow. This is gold tonight, man. This is really awesome stuff. Tanya, this question, throwing back at you, sis. All right. Here's a question. What does true friendship look like?
What does true friendship look like?
Yeah.
For me, true friendship is when you can be honest with me, good and bad.
Yeah.
And I know that you're coming from a place of love. I know you're coming from a place where you love me. And true friendship is that I can accept what you're saying and look into myself and say, okay, well, yeah, you might be correct. And even if I'm doing something the correct way, you're able to also applaud me. True friendship, I should be able to accept both the negative and the positive. Whatever it is you're bringing my way, I should be able to accept it because I know you love me. And when you know somebody loves you, no matter what they bring your way, it's easier to accept. So
That's
just
good.
understand. That's how I feel.
Awesome. Anybody else? What's your what do you feel true friendship is all about?
Well, like Tanya said, it's about honesty, but I also feel it's not just honesty to the other person, but I feel like some people they're not going. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say I'm here, but I'm there. But they don't feel like they could be honest about themselves. So they won't lie to you, but they won't be honest about themselves. So I think true friendship, honesty is good. Honesty that you won't lie, but also be truthful about yourself and to yourself. So I think true friendship kind of creates that space where you could be honest about yourself, not just to the other person.
That's good.
All right.
Good stuff.
I got something for that.
Okay.
This is one of my pet peeves when I hear people talk about relationships, and I know what that relationship entails, especially that friendship. Friendships, a good friendship is mutually beneficial. You don't have to bring the same thing to the table, but you've got to both have something that you're investing in this relationship for it to be a genuine friendship. If I got something to offer and you have nothing to offer me, you're a parasite. You're just taking, you're leeching off of me, and eventually I'm going to go with it. And I've seen that happen in a lot of relationships and friendships. Emotionally, I've seen people drain other individuals emotionally because they're a parasite. I've seen friendships where people milk people for money because they're a parasite. A mutually beneficial relationship where I'm giving you something and you're getting something from me is a true friendship in my eyes.
Sorry. That's an E flat line.
Oh, girl.
E flat.
Oh,
That's so good. That's so good.
I'll see these comments.
Yeah, I know.
What's the takeaway from tonight? No parasites, yo.
No parasites.
I'm glad I'm the moderator on tonight. That's That's good. That's good. To the Mentos, real quick. If God doesn't want anyone to be alone, should you marry someone just because you've been friends for a long time? It's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Wow.
It's so good. I need to say it again.
Say it again.
Yes, I was about to say, repeat the question,
If
sir.
God doesn't want anyone to be alone, should you marry someone just because you've been friends for a long time?
Well, I think that the key thing in that question is God. If God does not want you to be alone, should you marry someone? That's a tough question.
While she thinks, I'm gonna say no.
Speak up.
I'm just gonna say no.
Yes, sir.
Elaborate since you took it over.
It's just no. There's no elaborating. I got a follow up to that question. My answer is no, but I'm gonna throw it back to the pastors. Well, the other pastors on this. Where does it say that God doesn't want anybody to be alone? That would be my question. I don't know. Help me with some. I don't know. Is that a fair, true statement that God doesn't want anybody to be alone?
Okay, but are you you're talking about alone. Are you saying not in a romantic relationship? I don't believe God created us to be alone, period. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationship. I'm talking about period. If COVID taught us anything, it taught us that we need people.
Talk.
So if you're talking about relationship, that's maybe everybody is not meant to be married.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. But they said married though. They said married.
I just had this conversation with my pastor because we were talking about the fact I believe that God created us to be married. In the original blueprint, he created man and woman to be married, to come and procreate, right? Okay. Because of what has gone awry, because of sin, it's obvious that is not what's happening now. And some people's minds have changed from wanting to be married and other things like that. However, I don't believe that everybody is meant to be alone. Married, I can't say married, but not alone. You need somebody. You need a friend. We are not an island. We need people. And look around you. Corona is driving people crazy because they cannot be around people. So we need people. Romantically, I don't know, because I've seen some people.
That's a whole different ballgame.
God made us for connection.
Yes.
I believe, if I could, that there are some people that, like the Apostle Paul, he made a decision to not marry.
Talk, sir.
He made a decision. It wasn't, he felt like if he was going to do the whole gospel thing and preach, that it was better done for him to be unmarried. But he always had a sidekick. It was either Luke or Silas or somebody was with him. So he was never alone, but he didn't think that his life was suited for some of the marriage stuff. And he said, I have a right to have a wife, but he was a choice that he made to be more effective in the gospel. So he had people around him. But he just chose that marriage was not suited. And the things that he went to, he's probably correct. I mean, it was a rough deal. But I have to go with the panelists here that not everybody is going to be married, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the devil tell you that story. Don't let the devil tell you the story that you should be alone.
You could be alone, but not lonely. So
right. And if you marry the wrong person, you're gonna want to be alone.
Right.
Time for some alone time.
That's the truth. Yeah, and that's the question. Really, it's just by default. Do I marry? Because I've known you for a long time, and we're friends for a long time. Because if God doesn't want me to be alone, well, since we've known each other since childhood, let's just get married. And by default, that's not the mindset to have.
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I don't know. I say much prayer.
Much prayer.
Much prayer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because marriage is so much more complicated. Just to say, okay, well, let's just do it. It's so much more complicated than just to say, oh, you're my friend. Oh, you're my friend. Oh, well, let's get together. No, there is so much more involved.
Gotta be intention.
Yeah.
Gotta be intention. It's gotta be compatibility. And all of that. That's definitely key, and not the fact that I've known you all my life. So,
Right. And to see somebody on the street and to live with them is two different things, honey. So be prepared. Be ye ready.
Be ye. All right, good stuff, guys. We are coming to the runway here, getting ready to land a plane, as I often say. But this question goes to Tanya. How can we maintain relationships during a pandemic when face-to-face interactions are limited?
Well, this is probably a test of your relationship. If to see if your relationship can make it through a pandemic. Are we talking about friendship or are we talking about relationship? What are we speaking about?
Yeah, it can be friendship as well.
Friendship as well.
BFS is whatever.
It takes work. Maintaining a relationship takes work. Whether it is marriage or friendship, it takes work. No matter what you do. I'm living with my husband, and we have I believe we have a good marriage. We have a great marriage. We have ups and downs, but it still takes work to maintain a level of our relationship. And that is the same with friendship, right? A friendship, if you want to keep your friendship, that's going to take work. You might have to call them more than once a day, right? You know who your friend is, you know what they require, you know what they're going to need. So if you want to be a friend to that person, you know what your friend needs, do what that friend needs. If you hear that your friend has a little distress in their voice, you know what your friend needs, help your friend out. I think a friendship can be maintained during a pandemic. I just believe if it's not, that might be a sign that God is saying, you know what, let's go ahead and separate. But no, this is the time to be creative. I have been so creative in my marriage over this pandemic. It's almost like God said, you know what? Hold up. Let's be creative, because you were taking each other for granted. All right, cook a dinner. They close restaurants. Okay, cool, fine. Close restaurants. Cook dinner, put dinner on the table, and light a candle, send the kids to bed, and have you a romantic dinner in my house. Like, what are we doing?
You better help somebody in the living room tonight.
It's true. We have Zoom. You don't have friends that you can be around. Get on Zoom and play games, have conversations just like this. Stay connected. It's going to take work. Anything worth it is going to take work.
That's good. I love that. You got to be creative. And as I often said, there's always a plandemic in a pandemic.
Come on.
Everybody else got their E flat line. I just have to throw mine in there.
And you got your E flat too.
Good stuff. Anyone else? Anyone else?
And Pastor Jolly, I'm going to steal your word that you always use. Be intentional. Be intentional about maintaining. Intentional and maintaining. And sometimes when you see somebody often, you tend to think, I miss, I see you and we're okay. But then now we are apart. Like the pandemic came. Was this person really my friend? And I have this thing that I always say to myself: friends, when it comes to friend, don't make excuses, make time.
Yeah.
So if I mean that much, if our relationship mean that much to you or to me, I'm gonna go out of my way and say, you know what, I'm gonna create some time today and call so and so. Or in your marriage, I'm gonna create some time today and I'm going to talk to my husband, I'm going to talk to my wife. So you have to be intentional about it. You have to make time and not excuse, because we all have lives. We all have children. Most of us have kids. We have home to take care of. We're homeschooling. We're doing everything. But when was the last time I checked on Tanya? You know what? Let me send her a text. Let me give her a call just to say, hi, how are you doing? How is homeschool going? How's life at home? Just to check in. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour conversation, because life is happening, but and I always believe, make time, not excuses, just be intentional and just
Yeah.
try your very best to maintain.
And if somebody pops up in your head, pick up the phone and call them. There's a reason somebody came into your spirit. Pick up the phone and call them. Don't just pray. They want to hear your voice. We need to hear each other's voice. We need to get connection.
That's good. That's good.
Good stuff.
If I could say something.
Yes, sir.
We went through that here at our home. You know, we're empty nest right now. So it's just me and my wife, but she's a couple of years older than I. So she was distraught with the whole pandemic deal. And she's an outdoor. I mean, I'm from the projects. Okay. She's from the country. She fishes. I mean, the closest I get to fishing is going to the markets. Give me that fish over there. Don't work. But she was getting depressed, and I said, "Let's go." She said, "Where are we going?" I said, "Out of this house to get some fresh air, to get some sunshine." We can't go nowhere. I goes like, "Watch me, girl. Did you think who the man is? Oh, girl, on the road. They're gonna stop us." I goes like, "I'm big, I'm black, I'm ugly. Who's gonna stop me?" We were 40 minutes away. We drove around, stopped at a couple of stores, went onto a car lot. Well, there's nobody there and looked at cars that we wasn't ever going to buy.
Yeah.
Got creative, smile came on her face. I'm a hero. Your brother got lucky. You are. You got to be innovative. You got to stay in contact. I'm with Sister Tanya here. Call folks, man. Get on the phone. Don't text. I don't like texting. I want to hear your vocal tonality. Facebook, whatever. No, not Facebook. What is this? Zoom.
FaceTime, Zoom.
Yeah, FaceTime. Sometimes I just want to see your face and talk with you. I think, as Miss Tanya said, let's get creative. Let's get creative. If we can't go out to dinner, let's meet in the middle of something. We all go down to the church, get up. In the back of the church, we got that order back there. So we just go out, bring a hot dog, you bring a hamburger, we get out, keep the mask on, eating up under the mask. Whatever you got to do.
Under the mask.
Whatever you got to do. But you have to just get in there and just say, hey, okay. So every time I think my wife's getting stir crazy, let's go, honey. Where are we going? Anywhere but in here, because we got to get out. We did that for the 4th of July. I mean, we just got out. We had to order food from a place, pick it up, and bring it back. But just getting out of the house to order food and pick it back up and bring it to the house to eat it was enough. And then on the way, she goes, I'm stopping at every little stop. She goes, you can't do that. I goes like, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I can do that. So I'm not getting out. I'm waving from 20 feet away. I was like, it's pastor. I'm waving, throwing. Seriously. Hey, girl, all my little teenage girls, I call them all, hey, daughters, here's the pastor's big. You should have seen the smiles. They were all at the top of their head. And we need to just get out, man. And I'm sorry, I'm not a well, maybe, I'm from the old school, I marched with Martin Luther King back in the day. Okay, so that was 50-something years ago for me. So all of this stuff, I'm looking around and going like, I already done seen all this. I go like, no, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to stay connected. We're going to stay this. I told the church, call somebody. I call every widow in the church once a month, once a week, or every other week. I call every widow in the church.
That's good.
I want you to know that you are not alone and that God is not left you. And pastor's there. And who I don't call, Sister E calls. And I said to her, you got friends? Get on the phone. Get on the phone.
Yep. And you got to be more intentional and creative, especially in special moments within your family. We're in a pandemic, so there's anniversaries. And, while you're talking, I was just thinking about our wedding anniversary last year in May and what the church did for us. They just, did a drive-by, with cards and posters and balloons. And that was the highlight of our day. If it wasn't for that, it would just been a regular day with us, just, because nor, we will go out to eat at a restaurant or do something special, but we couldn't. And so, go away, definitely. But now we're in the birthday season. My son, along with my mother-in-law's birthday was yesterday. And, and so we're right smack in the middle of birthday season, 11 of us or 12 of us now, since, LaShawn is married to Natasha. We got 12 of us on both sides of our family that have birthdays, hear it now, in 4 straight months, 12. So from December to March, we got to be creative. We got to be intentional. We got to plan and do things, during this month. It'll be good to get one sheet cake, and just put everybody's name on it.
No.
Do something, but
everybody get a slice.
Right.
That's the deal. My wife's birthday was on the 16th. And so I had to trick her to get her down to the church. But they did this drive-by with balloons and flowers. And I mean, her smile was all on the top of her head.
I love it.
I'm just going to stay in. I don't feel like so I had to get her down to the church. I was like, well, baby, somebody down there want to give you some money, girl. Dress, man. I was money shopping, what I mean? And my Louis needs some money, so me and Louis can go out there and get this.
Come on.
The one thing that we have to thank COVID for is the whole meaning of the drive-by.
Redefine.
It's like drive-by anniversary, drive-by birthdays, drive-by, and it's a good thing.
It is.
I think Corona really shook us up. It really shook us to realize what's important.
Yeah.
We've gone from weddings that are 350 people to being intentional about who you want around you at a wedding when it's only 50. And then you sit there and you're like, you know what? This was perfect. I didn't need all those people. I just needed the people who are here. This is perfect. It allows you, right? Yeah. And then it's not grand, and it's no longer about the wedding, but it's about the life and who you want. It's amazing. Corona, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that God did Corona, but I think He's using it. I think God is using Corona to make us more thankful. I think God is bringing us out of our selfishness and understanding that the world ain't all about me. There's other people in the world. I got to get out of my little secure bubble and go touch somebody. We just had communion on Sunday. I said communion is more than the bread. I said, what if Jesus said, take the bread, which was something they used all the time. Bread was a staple over there. They had bread when they had nothing else. And when He said, but I want you to take this simple symbol. And when you break it, think about me. Wow. It's pretty simple. But I said, so when we get together, when we're breaking our bread, why don't we think about Him and then think about one another?
It's good.
Right.
Good stuff.
Jesus took the most simplest things and made them so dynamic that we're missing Paul said, I'm afraid that you have missed the simplicity that's in Jesus. Wow. And I told him, I said, what will happen when you slide through Chick-fil-A, or if you're not Chick-fil-A, you're going to go through In-N-Out before you eat that burger, before you break that burger. You said, God, I want to thank you.
Yes.
Change. I'm telling you something. We have become unthankful. We become ungrateful. We become snotty. We become arrogant. And God said, I'm going to have to take America down a few notches. So we remember who brought her there.
It's good. I love it.
Who made her what she is.
Love it. I love it.
I'm not thanking God for Corona, but I'm thanking God
that He's using it.
And can you still be who you are without all the applause?
Talk,
and
sis.
can you still be who you are without all the accolades? Can you still be who you are?
I don't know. It was hard to preach that first sermon online without some amens in there. I'm gonna be honest with you. But after about 4 or 5, because I don't need no amen. Grab the back of your head and get the preacher, brother.
You're helping a pastor in the living room, sir. Struggle was real. Empty seats. I'm an amen myself. I love loving the comments. Everyone that's in the community in the living room tonight. Thank you so much for engaging. Loving the feedback and what I'm seeing. Pastor Jason Avian, big shout out to you. Drive by blessing. That's a cool hashtag. And everyone else that's commenting. We got 2 more questions, and we really got to get out of the living room. But man, this is hot. I'm loving it. Loving the talk. Loving what it's all the discussions tonight. Go ahead, sis.
You got a granddaughter in here. You got a girl in here. She wants to be your granddaughter. She loves
Sister friend Katie that said, "Preach, Grandpa." I love it. I got to throw this question out to the panelists real quick. As a Christian, is it okay to say you don't want to be married and you don't want to have children? Don't get quiet.
You don't want to be married and you don't want to have children?
As a Christian, is it okay to say that?
What does that have to do with Christianity? That's a personal choice. If you feel like
help somebody, sir.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you feel like you're single and you don't want the necessity, I don't think that has to do with the tenements of Christianity here. I mean, because when you go down in that water in Jesus' name, you go by yourself. When you come up out of the water, you come up by yourself. Your walk is really a personal walk that you join, and then there's 2 people doing a personal walk. If you feel like that you're not suited for marriage, or you just don't want the hassle, and that's good with you, that's good with me.
All right.
It's good. Wow. That's good. Anyone else?
That's good.
That's good.
But then I would want to question that person a little more. I would want to know why you don't want to get married. Is it because there's some selfish ways that you don't want to get rid of yourself?
Well,
why is it that you don't want to be married? What is it? Because there's one thing to say, I'm trying to live this life for Christ and I want to, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But when you sit back and say, I don't want to be married because I can't share my bed, I can't, then I have a problem with that. We need to discuss, well, why is it that you're feeling this way? And what can we do? Because to love means to serve, to sacrifice, to be challenged.
That's good
why
too.
Is it that you don't want? What is about that you don't want?
I like that.
Listen, y'all. Listen.
They're about to get in trouble.
Y'all too good for me to not get in with the hoop triggers. I just have to. Oh yeah, y'all are hot tonight. Oh my goodness! Wow, awesome. Here's the last question for the panelists. How do I go about communicating or building better communication with a partner who has terrible communication or just doesn't communicate at all? It's very discouraging to continue to be the driving force or having one-sided communication, but I also don't want to give up. That's icing on the cake, folks.
Boy, I wish my husband was here, but he out there cleaning them streets. Because let me tell you something. Because communication is so key in a relationship. It's so key. However, everybody isn't at the same level of communication. True. We come from 2 different places. When you get married, we are 2 separate people coming from 2 separate places, grew up 2 separate ways. I may have grown up in a family that communicates all the time, and he may have grown up in a family that doesn't communicate, or vice versa. I have to be patient with the one I'm communicating with. As long as I can see that he wants to or she wants to communicate with you, then be patient with them. Be patient with them, but teach them how to communicate with you. Teach them how to speak with you. Give them time to be able to develop that, because communication is key. But they may not be at the level of where you are, but as long as they're trying, keep working until they get to the level that you want them to be at. But communication is key. I can't say that.
That's good.
But also, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, maybe you can try to find a different mode of communication, because sometimes if it's like, I'm always talking and I'm always saying, why don't you talk to me? You never talk. Why don't you do this? You never. I think maybe a different method of communication can be. Maybe you could write it, and maybe that's sometimes maybe even where the love language comes in, find a creative way to bring it out, as opposed to just constantly go, you never, why don't you, and just find, okay, push pause and say, okay, maybe I'm approaching this the wrong way. Maybe there's another way that I can go about it, and then you could try, and not wanting to give up, it's a good thing, but then you just have to, because you can only drive in the wrong direction, but for so long. There comes a point when you just have to say, wait, I'm going the wrong way. I need to make a turn in order for me to go in the right direction, but you have to turn. You can't keep going. So try a different method, try different ways and a different approach to get the person to communicate with you.
And that's good. And I love what Anissa just said in the comment, but because silence is communicating as well. So it's really about how you're communicating and making sure that there's no discrepancy in, those two individuals in terms of, now, if there is, then that we need to find out, what's the discrepancy and how we can fix that. But just because I'm talking and the other person is not talking doesn't mean that person that's not talking is not communicating. You're communicating, but you're communicating in a different way.
Yeah.
And that you're communicating with your silence.
And I think it's still also okay to communicate what you require or what you need. So if you're silent and I'm saying to you, listen, I need to know what's going on. You got to talk to me. You got to tell me. It's okay for you to also communicate that. You can communicate what it is you also need.
Bishop.
Well, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, but they say there's more than one language of love. There's more than one language of communication. Some people are objective, they like objects. Some people they like words. So we have to learn our partner. We have to learn what they like, what they don't like, how they don't like. They may misconstrue things that we're like, that was good for me, but it wasn't okay. So again, I think Miss Tanya had a great deal, and Miss Cheryl as well, is that we have to learn who our partner is and learn that silence is not saying I don't agree or disagree. I just don't know what to say to what you just said to me. And I see marriage like, as Miss Tanya said, it's like if you can think of two worlds that are colliding. And when they hit, there's an impact. There's always going to be collateral damage. And what's left over from all of that as you blow all the dust away is this union. And where two worlds are coming in, we may eat black eyed peas, or you might even know what those were, or something like that. And it's two worlds coming together. We have to give each other time to figure out who we are, where we are, how we're going to make this happen. You from the East Coast, I'm from the West Coast, you from the South, I'm from the North, you from that family, I'm from this family. And it can get difficult, but somehow, as they say, love will find a way. And even if love will find the way if we allow it. And then as we challenge ourselves to move toward our mate or to that person and start learning what it is for them, or what turns them off or what turns them on or whatever, not in the sense of intimacy, but just being open, and we can't have an open conversation if we're always, maybe saying something that person finds abrasive, that you can't think, okay, So I think a lot of it has to do with learning your partner and learning what communicates to them and learning. I'm not a great communicator with all the, I'm not a player, so I don't get, my deal is when my wife goes in there, she's going to find a big old bouquet of roses, and I'm in like Flint, right? And so, because my flowers do my talking. I find the card, I don't ever read the card. It doesn't matter what the card says. See, I see people in the car now, they spend 2 hours in there. I go, I got my whole shopping cart. I go back, that looks good. If it looks good to my eye, I read it. If there's two things I like, She gonna like it.
Yeah.
I know her.
Yeah.
Community
that's good.
is about knowing your mate.
Yeah.
Knowing is half the battle. Somebody mentioned in the comment as well that what about the issue of you being fearful of, okay, when you communicate with me, what's the reaction? If you're fearful of the reaction, I don't know if you're gonna bark at me, you're gonna scream at me, you just, why are you acting the way you acting? It's more focused on, why you're acting the way you're acting and not really what's the reason behind you're acting the way you're acting, like Tanya said.
Well, sometimes I think we take things personal that's not personal. And even if they're your mate, they could be going to work and have like a rough day. And I think if you're working outside of the house, give that person 15, 20, 30 minutes to make a transition.
Yeah.
From coming from the workforce where he's been dogged or whatever. Give him time to take his shoes off and walk around in his socks and play with the dog or whatever before just give him time to make the transition from work to home. It's a transition there. You can take a whole lot of stuff from your work sphere in home. That's dangerous. So there's a transition time, that we need to observe. Don't let the kids run at the old man. You just come out to work. Give him a downshift time, no matter what he does, and then let the kids run. Then let them play. Get in the floor. When I grandkids, I'm all in the floor. I play tea with my little granddaughters. This is a big old husky cat. And my wife was like, I cannot believe you playing tea with them. They're like, when did tea become a female thing?
Yeah.
I drink tea.
Yeah.
But the kids, they don't remember what you get them. But they do remember the time you spent with.
Yeah.
Right.
The home should be a safe
space. I was also gonna add that we talk a lot about communication, and we say communicate, but in order to communicate, there has to be one person saying something and the other person responding. And so if I constantly say, I'm communicating with you, no, I'm not communicating with you. I'm having a conversation with myself. Now it's me. It's now for me to look at your response, because your response is you communicating with me. And like Pastor E said, you could wait until he gets home. He's communicating with you that I need time, or she needs time to breathe, let the hair down. And you have to understand that, okay, that's them telling me without verbally even saying it, that I need time to just decompress, to kind of breathe, let my hair down, put my feet up, have some tea, just have some alone time. So we tend to think that we're communicating with someone while we're just having a conversation. And we always tend to look internally and say, well, you're not communicating with me. You're not saying anything with me. But you're not listening, because I'm saying I need time. I'm not ready to talk about it, or not now. But because we're so caught up with ourselves, we fail to recognize that that's what is being communicated to us.
That's good. That's good stuff. Well, you guys have been solid tonight, really. And I'm sure that everyone in the living room has been blessed. And I can't wait. You've encouraged me, blessed me all with just your words and just so much insight and knowledge and wisdom. And thank you guys so much. And I can't wait to look back on the comments and from everyone on Facebook and YouTube. And just to see everyone's, their comments and their response to, this discussion tonight. And I think this has just been rich. And I hope it's helped someone in some aspect of their life. Before we go, this is a wrap up. I want you, each and every one of you, to describe relational success in one word. Describe relational success in one word. Tanya, go.
Oh, can you pass me and go to the next person? Because I've never used one word.
One word, relational success in one word.
All right, I'm gonna say it like a safe place.
That's 2 words, Doc.
Just put it together.
Okay, well,
safe place.
we'll
You're safe, she's place. Put it together.
Gotcha.
Somewhere safe.
Pastor E.
Understanding.
I like that. Tanya, back at you.
Because it was mentioned so much and I know exactly what it means, choice.
Wow. I was planning on here and expecting to hear like communication and stuff like that. I love understanding. I love every day. That's good.
Hey, Paul said, how you going to know what the sound is if you don't understand the sound?
Right. And this is what I wanted to say, because I don't want nobody leaving here thinking, marriage or relationships, period, is not always just a straight line. I remember when I gave birth to my child. I remember when I gave birth to my daughter, and there was a heart monitor, right? And you see the heart monitor, it goes up and down and up and down and up and down. And that was an indication that there was life, right? That's what the doctor knows, that to see that there's life. So there are going to be peaks and there are going to be valleys in your relationship. And as long as there is peaks and valleys, there's an indication that there is life. There is something there. There's a heartbeat there. If you have a flat line, something or somebody.
Please, girl.
Enjoy the peak and enjoy the valleys. Enjoy the peak and enjoy the valleys. And as long as it's there and you got God, there is life. So breathe life into your relationship.
Daniel, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes on that. I'm
going to tonight. Listen.
Oh, Lord.
Man, her. She hot.
Love it.
I'm just so glad I didn't have to go through all your agents just to get you in the living room tonight.
Never.
My goodness.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Bishop.
I would like to say it's been my honor to be here. I have learned things tonight.
Yes, sir.
And so it's not true that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Because I have learned something. I want to be better. I want to strive to communicate and understand and be on that. And I love the heartbeat deal. That's dope right there. I mean, I can take it off. But thank you all for allowing me, because you've helped me. So I just want everybody to know, everybody needs a little help. Got to get a little help from my friends. I know Pastor Omar. I don't know you guys, but now we're friends. I mean, I love Miss Tanya. I think she's like, I love that, man. She's got.
I love you too, Pastor. I love you.
All right. So it was good to meet Mario and Cheryl. You guys are awesome. Y'all make.
Love you from Simple Jesus days.
Simply Jesus.
Amen.
Simple Jesus days. I love you.
Simply Jesus.
Simple Jesus.
Been following you all the time.
We won't talk about the hot message you preached that year.
What's wrong? I can't. I preach so much stuff in Simply Jesus. What was it?
You just was a beast. You was talking about this. Yeah, never mind. You're a beast. You're a beast. Every year was good. Let's just say that.
Yes.
Yep. You guys.
You were just not normal that year. I was like, we got to get this. We got to get this guy to come preach for us.
You might have it on cassette tape.
I'm sorry.
Knowing Lisa, she
might
probably
have it on cassette tape.
VHS. Knowing her.
The cassette tape.
Seriously.
Yeah, we have this thing on Mondays at my church, and this is a shameless plug, called Refuge Mondays. Pastor E, I'm gonna have to bring you out to that, because your granddaughter said it. She said she wants you on that.
Listen, not even, you don't even have to. There's no DNA test tonight. She's your granddaughter.
I love it. I love
you guys.
You tonight.
Awesome,
Thank
Pastor.
you. I just want to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the same thing. Pastor Omar, Lady Lisa, and the whole entire church family. This was awesome. Pastor Mario and Lady Cheryl.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Pastor Jolly.
You are awesome. Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you guys so much to everyone that comment, those that are in the living room tonight. Before we leave, I want to let you know that next week, Tuesday, it's Love in the Living Room Part 2. You don't want to miss it. The topic of discussion is the social dilemma. God's love over people's likes. It's going to be a hot topic. You don't want to miss it. The panelists, our very own Natasha Rowe, is going to be in the living room along with our dear friend and sister, Anissa Fowler. And also all the way from Loganville, Georgia, Pastor Court and Sister Amanda Chavis. That's our panelists next week, Tuesday. It's going to be hot. Next week, 8 o'clock, same time, Love in the Living Room. We are so blessed that you are a part of it. And thank you so much for staying connected in this time and being a part of the Sanctuary of Elmont. Thank you so much for participating, engaging. Thank you for giving of your time, giving of your finances to support this ministry. And the Love Factor is off to a great start. And we're just going to keep the ball rolling. We love you all. We're praying God's blessing. And again, to our panelists, thank you so much. And we say to everyone, have a blessed night. Thank you again for being a part of the Living Room. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, guys, 8 o'clock. Have a great one, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.